Assalamu alaikum, dear audience. How are you? I hope you're all fine. Welcome to another episode. Also, this is the final episode in our movement, which is Bildungsroman. And I would like to inform you that this is not really a movement, but it's a subgenre found in novel. But according to the book that I used, uh, he says that it's a movement. And the source of my source book, which is entitled Literary Movements for Students, Volume Number 1 by Yale University, he says that is a movement. So we'll follow the book, as they say, because they know more than us. Okay? So today we are going to talk about themes, style, and movement variations or related movements of this movement. Okay? So the first theme, which is education. We have education. We say that Bildungsroman focuses on the protagonist from his youth to his maturity. Okay, so education is only the most important theme in this novel or in this movement. So the Bildungsroman is a novel of formation or development. These terms implies that Bildungsroman is also a novel of education, yet not necessarily in the narrow sense of Erzik Roman, novel of education and development. Life is an education, and the process of growing up as a chronicled in the Bildungsroman is a series of experiences that teach lessons. The protagonist's education may be academic. It may also be in other areas such as learning social grace, conducting business affairs, and gaining integrity in relationships. So education not only in his study, but education, he says that life is education. Life teach you everyday lesson. So you should take from these lessons, maybe lessons in your, for example, in your health, lessons in your relationships with others, lessons in with your social interaction with others, education in your or development in your friendship, or something like that. Okay. Second, we have identity and self. We say that the difference between German and English novel. One focuses on the self inside, and the second focuses on the person outside in his society. The protagonist of Bildungsroman has a unique talent. Part of the maturation process requires discovering his talent and figuring out how to use it. So he has a talent, but he does not know how to use it. He will go through a series of problems in his life until he considers his talent and he starts using it in his maturity. The journey and experiences of the hero are intended to provide an opportunity to examine the inner self and clarify important goals and how to pursue them. As part of the self-discovery, the hero gets a new perspective on her relationships with the other people. In other words, facing the complexities of an adult world causes the protagonist to learn about others and about himself. It also he gain his identity in society when he interacts with other people within his society. Okay, and he will get some ideas or some things or some education or process of education to found or discover his talent, and also through complexities that he will going to throw it in his life. Okay. Thus, the Bildungsroman is a psychological novel in which the main character evolves toward mature self-awareness. And so here, focusing, in German novel, he focuses on the inside the person, inside the protagonist, how he gain his, how he will use his talent in a right way. Okay, maybe in his business, maybe in his relationship with his love. Third, we have journey. In Bildungsromans, the hero leaves home on a journey or a quest. We will see that every protagonist in a Bildungsroman movement or novel, he will leave the house in order to find, or he will have a journey in order to find his talent or find his way in life. Usually, the protagonist leaves a rural setting to travel into the wider world of society. We mean that he will leave the village and he will go to the city in order to acquaint himself with the uh, people in that city and in order to learn from them. In this way, the character encounters a large society that tests his or her mettle. The cycle journey initiates change, and change brings growth. We know that every change will bring a growth for you. For example, if you have a problem in your life and you pass it, next time when you have a problem, you will know how to pass it. Okay, easily. So each problem احنا نقول بالعربي الضربة اللي وجعتك ما هذا مش شيء الضربة اللي وجعتك ما او اعطتك درس ما يستحضرني المثل بس انه اي ضربة توجعك انه تعطيك درس. 4. We have love. Finding the right love is a companion of the quest as it acted in the Bildungsroman. The movement into adulthood begins with a separation and often resolves in maturity with adult connection. When he was a young, the hero, when he was a young, he always or often meet a girl, okay, and he start in love with her or fall in love with her. After that, he go to another city and lose her. When he back, he found her. Maybe she is married, or maybe she waiting him. Okay, so there is a love, theme of love. Okay, in some cases, the character must negotiate among potential partners in order to discover the appropriate one. The formalization of the relationship maybe constitute the final event in the novel. So we find that the last event in the novel, we find that he will leave his love, or he will make a union with his love. Maybe he will marry her. Okay, maybe it will end in a happy ending or a sad ending. Depend. 5th, search of the meaning of life. In Bildungsroman, the novel of development, the hero develops through experiences that assist in clarifying the character's mature values. Growing up involves the search of universal truth. For Victorians, the universal truth concerned achieving middle-class values, marrying and settling down as a responsible citizen. هنا the meaning of life, as it we can say it fit to the middle class only. على سبيل المثال انت لما تيجي تحصل على حياه اعتياديه خاصه بالميدل كلاس بالنسبه للطبقه الفكتوريه اللي كانت عايشه ذيك الفتره، اوكي، لانه حياتهم طبيعيه، يتزوجون وعندهم يعني قوت يومهم ويعيشون، فهي هاي مثل ما نقول عنها الميدل كلاس اوف نوفلز of Victorians. Okay, but to writers like Joyce, these truths concern the artist's alienation and the necessary rejection of middle class values. أنا جيمس جويس مثل ما تكلمنا إنه كان دائما ضد التقسيم الطبقي، أوكي، وضد العبيد السود اللي كانوا يستخدموها كان ظهرت بأمريكا. فجيمس جويس كان ضد هاي الأشياء، فكان يريد يأسس نظام طبقي كامل موحد ما يختص، يعني ما بي طبقات مثل poor people, middle class people, low class people, or high class people. Okay, so he wants to make all people the same. His novels, for example, Tom Sawyer, Hank, his friend Hank, or something like that. And also has a play artist as a young man, portray it. Okay, the style. We have the style. We have the audience. The Bildungsroman does not just tell a story, it involves the reader in the same process of education and development as the main character. When you are going to read some Bildungsroman novels, we will see that you are live inside the novel. You are going to see the life of the protagonist, your life, for example. Okay, you will live it when you read the novel. Okay. The aim is to affect the reader's personal growth as well. It will also affect you. We'll see that how protagonists go through these experiences, these problems, and he succeed in this problems and gain his happy life. Okay, so you will get some. Sorry, you will get some uh, idea or some growth in your life. However, at some point in the narrative, the reader may be in a disagreement with the protagonist, realizing that the hero has made a mistake in judgment. So the novel tells you that every person will make a misjudgment in his life, but this misjudgment will fix next, for example, next life, yeah, next years when he get a uh, when he become an adult man. Okay, he will fix it. So the Bildungsroman say that everyone make mistakes in life, but it will be fixed. The reader, in fact, learns from the situation before the protagonist or otherwise compares his hero or immortality against the moral of the story and that hero eventually there is. راح يتعلم الشخص راح يتعلم من خلال المشاكل اللي يمر بيها الشخصية واللي طلعت من خلال هاي المشاكل نجحت. Character. In the Bildungsroman, the focus is on the main character. We say that it focuses only on the protagonist from his youth to his maturity. The structure of Bildungsroman is to follow this one character from youth and to adulthood. Other characters exist in the story. We have other characters. We say that's a novel. We have full or many of characters. Of course, but only in roles that have some kind of tie or relation that contributes to the growth and development of the protagonist. طبعا اكو شخصيات ثانيه بالمسرح بالعمل الادبي، بس هاي العمل الادبي يعني تسليط الضوء مو كلش عليها كبير، بس اكيد لها دور بتحسين سلوك او تقييم سلوك او نهوض الشخصيه الرئيسيه. Okay, with this concentration, it is then possible for the reader to become engrossed in the maturation process of the hero and they're in the same life. Listen. We have third, chronological. A Bildungsroman is the chronological or record of events of the protagonist from youth to adulthood. However, it's not an unpaced record, but more likely a diary recording of life of a young person or in the way of self-understanding and maturity. هي عبارة عن مثل ما نقول هي عبارة عن رواية أو نجيب مذكرة للشخصية الرئيسية. يعني شايف أنت تكتب مذكرة أنت وصغير، مذكراتك أنت وصغير تكتب بها دروسك والمشاكل اللي مرت بها والأفكار اللي جتك. هاي تعتبر مثل المذكرة إنه تمر من طفولتك لحد ما أنت تشيب. Consequently, the Bildungsroman uses a chronological time period to follow from the hero from year to year. يعني كل سنة يطلعوا لك إن البروتاغونست شكل. Okay, أو تغيرات البروتاغونست. Conflict, صراع. Growing up and finding one's purpose in life is difficult. أكيد. There are many pitfalls, mistakes, and forces beyond one's control along the way. These conflicts between the protagonist and the fate or nature or others or self are part of the process of maturation that the Bildungsroman chronological. أكيد راح يكون عندك صراع. ما زال عندك صراع فشون راح يعني تطور بحياتك أو شلون راح you will find the purpose of your life if there is no any conflict inside you or inside society himself. Okay, so you should have a process of conflict. Each crisis the hero endures helps to deepen his self-knowledge and strength or challenge his moral fortitude. Multiple conflicts are essential to credibility of the Bildungsroman as a reflection of the real life experiences. كل crisis كل أزمة يمر بها البيلدكسرومان راح يطور من نفسه. أوكي؟ وكل ما كانت المشاكل أكثر كل ما يتطور من نفسه أكثر. Dialogue الحوار. Dialogue is the conversational interaction among the characters of the story. Since the Bildungsroman is focused on the main character, plot and narrative are secondary to dialogue. Use dialogue to carry the story makes the reader feel more of the witness of an actual scene. dialogue دائما يكون حوار حقيقي أو مبني على يعني أشياء حقيقية، فالقارئ راح من يقرأ هذا الديالوج راح يعيش الرواية بمعناها الحرفي. The reader knows little more than the hero has learned from talking with others, and thus makes the same discoveries as the protagonist as events happen. Finally, we have movement variations. American novels. First, we have American novels. The American style of Bildungsroman is a combination of a German Bildungsroman and the Spanish picaresque. The American Bildungsroman follows the pattern of moral growth from protagonist as he discovers his identity in a conflict with the social norms. الرواية الأمريكية اللي تختص بالبلدكسرومان تختص بالشخصية نفسها، الشخصية نفسها شلون how he gain identity in his social life. يعني مثلا بالطبقة لما كان ذيك الفترة انه كانت الطبقة السوداء كانت يعني الطبقة البيضاء كانت تحكمهم، اوكي، الطبقة السوداء كانوا مضطهدين ما كانت لهم اي حقوق. فشنو الرواية الأمريكية كانت تركز على الطبقة السوداء how they will gain his identity in a social life or social norms. Blended into the story in the picaresque element of the hero being as a traveler who has an outsider perspective on what he encounters. Two American classics exemplify in this case Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn and G.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye. طبعا مارك توين اللي هو كتاب توم ساير، اعتذر، جيمس جويس هو كتاب بورتفايت از ارتست يونج مان، ف دائما خلط بيناتهم جويس و مارك توين الاثنين امريكيين هم، اوكي. So this a Big novel here, a Spanish novel, which is Spanish in origin, is a humorous tale about the adventures of Ravish hero. The first known picaresque was an anonymously published novel, Lazuriel de Thomas. The popularity of Biscard novels spread to Europe during the 17th and 18th centuries as exemplified by a classic by Daniel Dove, Walt Flanders. إنه البيكارسك novel إنه الشخصية تخرج to discover his talent, but he will know what he will face. يعني يعرف what he will know what he will encounter in this life or in his life, okay, in his journey, okay, but it's a part for his succeed, okay, even though he know, but it's a part from his succeed. He should go away. English novels. In English Bildungsroman, the protagonist is often a poor orphan boy whose goal is to become a cultural gentleman of means. لا البلدكسرومان الإنجليزية أنه شخصية رعوية تريد دائما تحصل يعني تكون طبقة مثقفة أو طبقة من الهاي كلاس in his society, okay, to transfer or to go from the village to society or city. As a part of his self-education, he moves from this provincial home to an urban setting, while the German Bildungsroman emphasized the eternal conflicts within the main characters. Now, as we say that the German novel concentrates only on what? On the main characters and the main protagonist and the conflict inside himself. The English Bildungsroman uses the outside world to threaten the hero's quest of identity. Many English Bildungsroman draw from the other's own experiences. الإنجليزيين كانوا يكتبون الأعمال الأدبية اللي تخص بالبلدكسرومان تكتبوها على مود إنهم كانوا هم عايشين بحياتهم، أوكي، فينقلوها على النوفل. So this is the end of our lecture. Inshallah, I'll meet you next episode, next movement, and see you. Thank you for your watching.